Merry meet everyone. Thank you for watching my day 2 of my 30-day dedication to crafting for Samhain in honor of my matron goddess Hel. This is Anastasia Autumnfire, and tonight I'm actually going to be crafting an Ancestor Oil. This is something that Woodwitch, I believe, asked that I make. She wanted to see how I go about making oils, as well as some herbal blends and a witch's ladder. Thank you so much for the suggestions. I am super, super excited, and I love having someone want to see something specific. I love the interaction of it. So as soon as I read that comment, I instantly changed my plans so I could make an oil. Usually when making an oil, I will make, for example, this is an oil I made. I call it Be at Peace oil. It is about calming a grieving heart, be it a broken heart, due to like a love lost, due to death, due to some heartbreak of some sort. This is the oil for you. It has a lot of great stuff in it, a lot of good healing herbs. It also is has a fragrance oil of violets in there because I couldn't find violets in my area, so next best thing was an oil. And essential oils are a bit expensive for me still. As I say this and whip the jar around, it's leaking, so awesome. But yeah, so that is an oil that I made, and some oils I will keep the herbs and such in. Others I'll take it out after letting it sit, usually for about a month or two. This oil, because it is for Samhain, normally I should have made this before Mabon, and then I would be able to, if I chose to drain out the ingredients in this one, I would have been able to do that on Mabon, just kind of as a harvesting ritual. I did not do that this year, and so I'm doing it now. I'm going to let it sit for 2 weeks and not use it until then, and then I need to make an ancestor candle. I need to get things anointed for an ancestor altar or two. Just all sorts of stuff. So this is what I've got. Over here we have some pine needles. We have some elderflowers. We have some roses. We have some bellflower. We have mint. Lily. I believe daylily to be specific. It was the only lily that I had at the time. And it still stands for immortality, so I'm good with it. This is actually lilac, and that might be a little different than you would hear for a death ritual herb. It corresponds with wisdom, it corresponds with love and beauty, and it also corresponds with memories. So normally I would put rosemary like a fiend in this. I cannot find my rosemary to save my ever-loving soul, and I just saw it yesterday. So I have no idea where it's been spirited away to. But I looked for a while, and then I thought, I'm going to take this as a sign that I need to do up some thinking and maybe go outside the box when it comes to correspondences and maybe be led by spirit a little bit more than, books and the web. Because originally I wasn't. Lilac I usually will put into grieving mixtures, but as this is an honoring mixture, I wasn't really thinking about it. But the more I thought of it, the more I do want those that have passed on to know they are being thought of. I do want those good memories to flow not only through me, but also in the spirits that pass. So lilac worked. I like, the more I thought of it, the more it made sense to me, even though it wasn't originally planned. Then we have some yarrow. Yarrow also I was not planning on using. I believe that I was, same situation with my thyme. I have no idea. And the weird thing is rosemary and thyme are the two, when working with any sort of death rite, any sort of death ritual, those are the two that I use like a madwoman. Um, Even though in folk magic, thyme was always one of those tricky herbs in my house, because many gypsies thought thyme was something you did not bring into the household because souls of the dead would be carried within the herb, especially those that died a violent death, if not murder. So, I remember very well my grandmother. Thyme was always tricky with her, so, but I always use it. I don't. I love the herb personally, so I try to use it. But again, it was spirited away. I have no idea. And if you see some of the chaos that I'm working with, it's easy to see why, but still. So I went with yarrow. Yarrow is more of a healing herb. So it is used in funerary rites, but it's usually something for healing those that are grieving. That's really not the intent of this, but it does have an amazing love aspect to it. And it's about remembering the sweetness. And it's about, in weddings, it's used to keep out negative forces, to keep the relationship in good standing. So I thought, even though that's a wedding and not a death per se, I liked that symbolism, and I thought it would work here as well. And then here we have some bay leaf. And then I apparently got some bay leaf in my apples. So here we have some apples. Apples are very important to me. They are sacred to my matron goddess Hel. They are food of the dead. It's something that is in every correspondence book that I've found so far. They stand for immortality. They are for fertility and love as well. But I also resonate so well with them around this time of the year. And I think that's kind of the thing. Samhain is the festival of apples. Everyone there's that tradition of cutting apples in half to show the pentacle and leaving those on graves or out as offerings. So it's not a surprise that those would be included, but it is something close to my heart, so I did want to add that. Then I do have my amber oil. Amber oil is very good for bringing in positivity while pushing out negativity. Very good for protection. It also adds a comfort. And while kind of like the yarrow, I'm not so much doing this to heal me or to heal others per se, but I do want to give that comfort to the spirits of my ancestors, to the spirits that roam the earth on Samhain. So I thought that would be a good addition as well. And then, because I could not find any pomegranate to save my soul, I do have my pomegranate juice. And it's 100%. I figure I can add a few drops. Every time I say that, I feel like someone's laughing at me. So, it's one of those, I look at it as that can be my bit of fae offering in this. The whole don't take it too seriously, even though it is a very serious thing. And then otherwise, bellflower is really the only other herb or flower here that I haven't seen mentioned in funerary rites or ancestor honoring. Bellflower corresponds with gratefulness, so I did want to include that. I usually do include that in any spirit working, ancestor working, honor working, really, period. So I have cleansed these, I have charged these, I have my little phantom quartz. This is quickly becoming one of my most favorite crystals. I don't know if you can get a good look here. It is gorgeous. I love this point. I actually found it at Mall of America at a bead shop of all places. It was a pretty penny, but I absolutely love it. So I had that kind of charging everything up. I am also going to add a bit of my Be at Peace oil, as well as my freshly constructed Harvest Moon Blood Moon oil. Again, this is not normally I make oil. It has to sit for 2 months. we're kind of going with spirit here. It felt right that I include it. I felt right using 13 ingredients in this. Let me just make sure I've got that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. I have 14. Ah. Okay, well, blood moon oil, since you... Oh, but I feel... Okay, you know what? We're going with 14. And that's as easy as it is to kind of change what you were thinking. I was originally going to go with 13. I liked the number. It kind of reminded me of a gree bag, and I thought that was kind of a cool idea. But I really want... Oh! Sorry about that. I really want both my blood moon oil and my Be at Peace oil to be included, and none of these ingredients am I willing to part with. So, just like that, no matter how much you feel like, yes, this is how it has to be, when you sit down and start actually making it, sometimes you'll be surprised. This video is, I'm sorry, I meant to say this at the beginning. This video is going to be a little bit longer, simply because it was requested, so I do want to take my time to try to explain everything. Also, I seem to have lost my grinder. That's not good. Oh, you just have to love the chaos that an altar can have put on it, because the witch is not organized. Okay, so I can't find my grinder, but it's okay. I'm going to add these items to my little bowl here. And I'm going to add them and mix them in by hand, since I can't find my... I don't know if that's the mortar or the pestle. I'm sorry. I am up very late. I stupidly went to a hayride tonight with my sister. So, didn't get home till about midnight. It's like, oh, I can... Part of me was like, oh, you can wait till tomorrow. And another part of me is like, nope, you got to get your butt to that altar. You need to work. So, you can't really see, but as I mix these together, I am going in a clockwise motion, and then I will go in a counterclockwise motion. Just mixing them together, filling them with intent. They each have their own correspondence. They each have their own reason for being in here. But once they're together, their one purpose is to honor the ancestors. So then I will add them to my crystal bowl. 3 items at a time. That's how I work. And it's going to be a little interesting when I've got 4. Or we've got a number that won't easily be divisible by 3. But we'll make it work. And I do like that about magic. Anytime you're working with it, if you feel like something's right, go for it. Even if it brings, you know, you're like me where you only work with 9s or you only work with 3s. I usually work with 3s. 9s have a special place in my heart, so a lot of mixtures will get 9s. 13s I like for certain things for some reason. But when all is said and done, when you feel like a certain ingredient needs to be included, that certain ingredient needs to be included. It's that easy. So there's that. I'm going to move my phantom quartz over. Bay leaf is a little tricky. Then we add the yarrow. And because I can't find my little grinder thing, I'm very high-tech with this terminology, I know. I am kind of slightly bruising the lilacs and the yarrow and things like that, the flowers especially, so that a bit of their fragrance is released, a bit of their oils. Okay, and then mix them together. And mix them counter in the pot. Okay. I'm just going to add the apple. Got my little eyedropper here. Maiden, mother, crone. Maiden, mother, crone. Maiden, mother, crone. A little bit more on the crone. Crone. Then we'll get some amber in on this. Maiden, mother, crone, maiden, mother, crone, maiden, mother, crone. And I was a bit more, I put a bit more pomegranate juice than I did amber oil. Amber oil is a fragrance oil that I have, so I don't want it to be overpowering because it does have that tendency. I still love the smell of this Be At Peace. It totally just brings me to my center. Maiden, mother, crone, maiden, mother, crone, maiden, mother. Just ran out on crone. That's how the pomegranate juice worked as well. Okay. And this is the first craft that I am using my Harvest Blood Moon Oil. I'm kind of excited. Oh my goodness, it smells really yummy. Oh, it smells so good. It seriously feels like Thanksgiving to me. Love it. Beautiful. Maiden, mother, crone. Maiden, mother, crone. Maiden, mother. I did it again. Okay, crone. There we go. Apparently, yeah. Might need to do some meditation. All right. Usually when something happens where I'm a little short on mother, I'm a little short on maiden, or obviously I seem to be getting short on crone. Maybe something's trying to tell me something. Oh, there it is. Well, since I found it now, I'm going to use it. Again, I apologize. I've been studying and doing all sorts of stuff. So I'm just going to kind of go around, mix it together. Kind of use this to break up stuff. And as always, while you do this, think of what the intent is. Visualize. You know, maybe visualize someone you know who's passed on, a grandparent, a parent, a loved one. If you can't think of someone like that, maybe think of, you know, go as far as maybe an idol that you have, a celebrity that's passed. I know there are quite a few that I just find amazing, but I've also got two amazing grandfathers that passed away, so they're usually the ones I think of. And again, I go clockwise, then I go counterclockwise. I go clockwise to bring the energies in I want to bring in, and counterclockwise because those energies I'm wanting to actually give out to those spirits and to my ancestors. It smells pretty good, actually. I wasn't sure about this blend. It kind of turned into a hodgepodge of things, but it really does have a nice scent. So, we've got that. Get this pomegranate juice out of here. Got my lovely mason jar. The thing about mason jars, as you noticed with my Be At Peace jar, is it can leak. It can kind of, the little cracks do give way. So I'm going to put the herbal blend in to the mason jar. And a lot of times I will do this when it's in the bowl. I've started doing just a last charge on it real quick while it's in the jar. I've done this on the last couple of oils I've made. Well, the last few, because it was the last couple before the blood moon. And I really enjoyed it. I really found that the charge that was placed on it before is good individually, but this way they're all one conglomerate. They're all together. They're all in there pretty as can be. And the charge that you put in here kind of stays within the jar, at least for to kind of linger and work within each of the individuals and then also as the group, if that makes sense. So this is, again, just how I do it. It doesn't mean anyone else needs to do it this way. I just would like to share this. Lord and Lady, spirits of the elements and good folk alike, I ask that you... Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Oh, sometimes your words begin to jumble, and I like, again, I can feel like they're looking at me just kind of giggling. I'm so glad that I have the spirit tribe that I have, because they get me. Okay, sorry, redo. Put my hand over and breathe to try to regain composure. Lord and Lady, spirits of the elements and good folk alike, I ask that you share with me your love and your light. Charge this blend within this jar. Fill it with your love. Fill it with your warmth. If any negativity be found, banish it from this blend, from this jar, from this home, leaving only positive energies, all to do honor to the ancestors. Fill this jar with the warmth of grandmothers. Fill this jar with the wisdom of grandfathers. Fill this jar with the hugs of mothers and fathers. Fill this jar with the knowledge of the ages. Fill this jar with all manner of love, trust, and honor. Work through me to share your power. Steady, steady, steady. Lord and Lady, spirits of the elements and good folk alike, I thank you for sharing with me your love and your light this night. Whew. Alrighty. That was a little weird. Usually I can feel the power build and I kind of, okay, higher, higher. And then when I feel like I can't really push down anymore, I'll be done. But it was kind of a wobbly field tonight when I did that. And it could be because I was having a giggle fest 2 seconds earlier. But that's why I said steady 3 times. And I felt that power kind of build again. And I released it once I felt it was steady and strong and where I wanted it. So if you're ever conducting a spell, if you're ever conducting, especially a craft spell, and you find you lost the words or you find you kind of mucked up and you feel yourself kind of giggle or laugh, I get that what we do is sacred. I get that what we do is beyond words when it comes to how personal it is and how intimate it is and how meaningful it is. But I find when things start to go awry, they still know. The energies know what you want. The Lord, the Lady, they're always with you. They understand that, we're human and we're going to kind of muck it up every once in a while. We have the best of intentions, but sometimes sleep and brain and things just kind of get in the way. So I don't get discouraged when you're making something and it kind of takes a turn and it goes awry a little. Just bring it back, regain your composure, and go again. That's my advice. So the oil I chose was almond oil. I really would also like to use I would also suggest using a walnut oil, but I used the walnut oil on my blood moon, and I actually really do like the almond oil. It gives a very warm feeling to it, and it's very feminine. It definitely kind of brings me into, this is going to sound really cheesy, but I don't know how else to phrase it. It says, if it brings me into the goddess's embrace. It just feels like home. The oils that I make from it, I absolutely adore them. The Be at Peace oil was made with almond, I believe, as well. So then you just fill her up. I'm sure there's probably a more scientific way or traditional way, proper way. I'm not good with any of those things. I just fill it up. And almond oil is really nice because it really doesn't have a scent. If anything, maybe a little bit of a sweetness, but not really. And it's beautifully clear. I absolutely adore it. Do keep in mind when making oils like herbal infusions, they will turn other colors. This was clear. It turned green. Let me see. Most of them have turned green. This is my solar oil that I made for Litha. And I drained, no, I didn't. That's right, I chose not to. I think I drained some, but I did not drain all. But it turned it doesn't really show up on camera that well, a really beautiful red color. And that's because I put red sandalwood. So just please keep in mind when making things, they might not look as pretty as they do here. Once things start to break down and get infused with the oil. So yeah, that is pretty much what I do. And then I will charge it in the moonlight. I will charge it in the sunlight. And then, like I said, I normally put it away in darkness for a couple of months. Since I don't have a couple of months, I will put it in darkness for a couple of weeks. And then I will charge it. If that makes sense. We're going to kind of do it backwards here. But when I was going through my head, I'm like, gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I need that Ancestor Oil like yesterday. And I didn't do it when I should have done it. And I believe it was probably Kernunos's influence. Just kind of breathe, take a breath. It will be fine. Just let's figure out another way to do it. So yeah. So that is how I make my oils. That was, again, they're an herbal infusion oil. I don't know how to make essential oils yet. I need to figure, well, I know how to make them. The issue is getting that kind of volume of fresh product. I would love to make essential oils, but for now, I am really digging my herbal infusions. So yeah. That is it for tonight's craft, my Ancestor Oil. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry it was a longer video. Again, I just, if someone requests something, I'd like to show as much detail as I can. There are still going to be those projects. I've got a couple that have been requested that I just can't do a step-by-step. So, but this one I thought I could. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it was kind of scatterbrained. I really appreciate your patience with me as always. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Blessed be.